when I was here, I felt a sense of relief. I said, at least, I reached somewhere that I can put my feet down and sit down and start thinking about rebuilding my life. But the experience at the immigration detention center kind of triggered a chain of emotion as a result of persecution, war, and also torture that was hidden somewhere there in my brain. And after I started feeling depression, and I could not have nightmares and so and so.
I'm now joined by Kolbassia Haoussou, the co-founder of Survivors Speak Out and a director of Freedom from Torture, who has been through the asylum system himself. Kolbassia, welcome to the show. Thanks for giving me your time.
Thank you. And it's my honor to be on the show too. Thanks for having me.
Kolbassia, tell me about your experience when you came to the UK and you spent time in the asylum seeker detention centres.
Yeah, thank you. I think I came here and then straight away presented myself to the authority, saying that I'm seeking a protection. I'm seeking a refugee, and to my biggest surprise, the next thing that happened to me, I was put in an immigration detention center in a process of to be removed back. It was really, really appalling. I could not sleep. The time that I was there. I could not eat, constantly thinking about what's going to happen to me. I'm going to go back, facing persecution and again, and also feeling about the pain that I'm going to be going through it. And also thinking about all the sacrifice that I made to be here. And when I was here, I felt a sense of relief. I said, at least, I reached somewhere that I can put my feet down and sit down and start thinking about rebuilding my life. But the experience at the immigration detention center kind of triggered a chain of emotion as a result of persecution, war, and also torture that was hidden somewhere there in my brain. And after I started feeling depression, and I could not have nightmares and so and so.
Kolbassia, tell me, what about the conditions and the places that you were held? I believe that you were in a detention centre here in London.
Yeah, I was in detention centre, Hammersmith Detention Centre. It's close to Heathrow. I think the feeling. Let me describe to you the feeling in that. The feeling it's gloomy and sad, sorrow. People crying. Left and right. People in that mood of feeling what you're thinking about the end coming very soon, and it's like you're reflecting back in your life, and it was really sad. There is absolutely nothing positive in the immigration detention center at all, because I think the other thing that you think about it, what I have done wrong, because that's the same thing that I ask myself constantly in that immigration detention, what I have done wrong, to be put in immigration detention. So the only thing that I have done is I escaped torture and I fled, I journeyed, I made sacrifice just to survive, to find a protection. Is it that's wrong? And I don't think that that's wrong. But that is the feeling, and also that's the experience that quite a lot of people feel while in the immigration detention center. The people thinking that I cannot even sleep because I don't know if I sleep, they're gonna just snatch me during my sleep, and then I'm gonna be deported. I rather die here than being removed back. So those things that really happen to us in those immigration detention centers.
Kolbassia, the government has taken this decision to adopt this new Rwandan asylum scheme. They believe that is going to dissuade people from making that dangerous crossing from France to the UK in those small, tiny boats. Do you think that this scheme is going to put asylum seekers off from coming to the UK by whichever mean they can find?
Absolutely not, because when the reality is this: when you're fleeing something abhorrent like torture, persecution, and war, there is absolutely nothing that can stop you. We see in a single day how people die trying to cross the Mediterranean, and people die trying to cross the desert. people constantly dying, and as when you make that journey, you know those risks. But the risk that you fling is much greater than the risk that you may face in front of you. And sometimes, because I remember that when I set myself into that journey, there is moment where I wasn't in control of myself. It's like there is a survival need that take me. I was just running. I journeyed foot for about 3 weeks, just working constantly, day and night. I just rest a little bit and just carry on moving forward, because I know the danger that is beyond. It's like somebody locked in a house and the house is burning, and you find an opportunity, you find a window, and then you jump out of the window. You're just going to run away from the fire. And nothing can deter human being when they're fleeing torture, when they're fleeing for their life, when they try to save their life. This policy, this plan, what it's going to do is only going to create a more dangerous road for people, to get somewhere. Because you're going to send people to Rwanda. People decided not to stay in Rwanda. They have to find another way to get somewhere else. So we just adding additional mile to the journey that people are going to be making, and creating more danger to people.
You also have been a survivor of sexual violence and conflict. In fact, you've been a champion of the UK government's Preventing Sexual Violence and Conflict initiative. And in 2019, you received an MBE for your work supporting survivors. So can you give us an idea at the moment, Kolbassia, what must be going through the minds of those people that potentially could be taking off from a plane, from the UK, on a plane on Tuesday, heading to Rwanda? What's going on in their minds?
The thing that will be, when I remember, because I'm trying to remember a little bit my situation at the immigration detention center awaiting deportation. At that moment, you kind of see your life ending, flashing, in front of you. You feel sorry for yourself because you made so much sacrifice, to get there, and you feel that you're going back to the square one, the square that you started, and also you lose trust and lose faith in humanity, because you feel that you give yourself a better chance for other human being to look at you and provide you the safety and the protection that you needed, and then you feel that you're being betrayed, by that. And also, I think taking in consideration our responsibility to the refugee convention, also to refugees, it is a massive letdown in that regard. Because I think the United Kingdom is, in the international fora, is regarded as the one exemplary, country providing, a platform for human rights protection. We have contributed so much. Let's take the example of the Preventing Sexual Violence Initiative. We are the country that really co-founded the Preventing Sexual Violence Initiative in conflict. And now there's a massive of countries and also massive thousands of survivors benefiting from that. And in that regard, we are highly regarded in that international fora. And at the same time, on the other hand, we show an absolutely opposite image of what we are, refusing protection to people, shifting our responsibility to other countries where we are signatory of the Refugee Convention. It is just appalling, to be frankly speaking, to be right now in this country and then see those two sides of the same government. I think at times I'm just speechless.
Kolbassia, thank you so much for giving me your time and also sharing your experiences and your views. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Kolbassia Haoussou received an MBE for being a champion of the UK government's Preventing Sexual Violence in Conflict initiative, and also was a refugee himself when he came to the UK.